Good
Evening,
evening, sir.
sir.
How are you?
Good evening, sir. Fine, sir.
Good, sir.
How are you, sir?
How are you, sir?
Yeah, great. Fatima Arti, long time no see.
Yes,
Great.
sir.
Okay, welcome to the beautiful session. Income Tax Act 2025. Long pending, at least finally the date came before the budget 2026 is going to be launched. The reason obviously caps at 25. So we were extremely busy and tied up with so many things, including caps at 25, Science Park inauguration, etc. Overall, since when people are told it is almost same in Code Act of 1961, probably our mind also would have thought, okay, same all Indian Ododanta. So, but nevertheless, okay, same cannot be same as far as taxation is concerned. Because relative itself is not same under 241, 56, 210. So, if that is the case, how can same be same? So, from that perspective, we thought let us have some special sessions. So, Income Tax Act 2025, which was launched in 2025, is applicable for CA students who are writing the examination May 27 and onwards. May 27 onwards. Nevertheless, why people before that should attend at least some sessions at CA final? Because you'll be doing some income tax return sitting in the office. Your articleship will be there for 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, maybe. So 2026, when you do the return, you cannot say, no, this is not applicable to me. That's why it's not applicable. Second point is, after 2027, when you start the practice, get into the job, you should know what is that. And since there are not substantial changes, at least some sessions, I think it is suggested you attend to get a reasonable idea of what is there in this act and what is the different from 1961 Act. So it is better to have an overall picture. My reasonable idea, I have not gone too deep into the Income Tax Act for various reasons. Okay, I'll definitely be going into it because that is a learning pattern of my lifestyle. So just to give an overall picture of Income Tax Act 2025 with the help of Chat GPT, or what is that called, AI. Okay, so unique features of Income Tax Act 2025. Overall today's session. After that, SMS will be taking his insight. So the lawmakers have told it is a simplified structure. By reasonably looking at it, I think it is simplified. Unlike there are so many other cases of the law where when they say it is simplified, it's always going to be complicated. Okay. So simplified at the open andre eno ide anta. Simplified. So whenever myself, the great Sri Padamchand Kincha sir, whom I owe my entire life, especially income tax life. So he says, whenever explanation is added in income tax, for the removal of doubts, ನಮ್ಗೆ ಆಗ ಡೌಟ್ ಬರೋದು. ಫಾರ್ ದ ರಿಮೂವಲ್ ಆಫ್ ಡೌಟ್ಸ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಸೊ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಡೌಟ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ, ನಮ್ಗೆ ಏನು ಡೌಟ್ ಬರಬೇಕಾಗಿತ್ತು ಅಂತ. ರಿಮೂವ್ ಆಗ್ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಡೌಟ್ ಇರಬೇಕಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ಫ್ರಾಡ್ FROD, ಫಾರ್ ದ ರಿಮೂವಲ್ ಆಫ್ ಡೌಟ್ ಅಂತ. ಸೊ ಏನು ಡೌಟ್ ಬರಬೇಕಾಗಿತ್ತು ಅಂತ. And to be very honest, till recently, none of us knew that section 35AD was an optional section. We all thought actually 35AD was a compulsory section. Only when they said under new regime, if he opts anta. So same way, simplified structure anta, when they say, they're reasonably simplified by having a overall knowledge. I have not gone too much detail into the meticulous discussion, but still. The second one is obviously we are going for a digital, everything is digital. So it's already happening. So they are given a final chapa to that. It's not that something they started now. Ella digital aagta irodu, everything digital aagta ide. Then they wanted it to be taxpayer friendly. So because one of the biggest challenges for any country in the world, not just our country, because we always think, oh, ನಮ್ಮ ಕಂಟ್ರಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಕರಪ್ಷನ್ ಇದೆ, ನಮ್ಮ ಕಂಟ್ರಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಕೊಡೋದಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ. What I heard, ರಷ್ಯಾದಲ್ಲಿ 60% ಕರಪ್ಷನ್ ಇದೆ. Probably, which was actually giving tucker to America, is thrown into pieces because that's the uncontrolled corruption. USSR anta ittu, United Soviet Union, USSR. So which was America and USSR were going maybe around 20 years back, almost neck to neck competition. But because of the corruption, okay, what I understand, how far it's true, I don't know. Any country, even America, the corruption is definitely it is there. So why? Because people tax kadangilla anta. I don't understand the logic, though. That's why that mentality has to be changed. I'm very happy with the way the last budgetally, the way they said almost up to 12 lakh, you don't have to pay the 1 lakh rupees varage kandre. 1 lakh rupees varage, you don't have to pay the tax. What else you want here? 1 rupee tax also. So whatever you are, next question is, when you're earning more, you pay little more. You're getting so much of benefit from the government, so much of facilities. So 10 years back, the lifestyle and today's lifestyle has changed. Are we not bound to do something to the side? And whatever we give, it will come back to us. ಸೊ ಸರ್ ನನಗೆ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟಾಗಿ ಬರಬೇಕು ನೀನು ಹೆಂಡತಿ ಅಡಿಗೆ ಮಾಡಿ ಹಾಕೋದು. ಓಕೆ, ಇನ್ಕಮ್ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟಾಗಿ ಬರೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ದೇರ್ ಇಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಪ್ರಾಕ್ಟಿಕಲಿ ಪಾಸಿಬಲ್. So they are trying to make it tax friendly. I was very happy when I was going from news recently. Middle class family get couple taxation model. There is a news 1st February 2026 when the budget come, where let us say husband is earning 10 lakh, wife is earning nil. So probably they want to do something. Atava 24 lakh effectively. Couple gets 12 plus 12, 24 lakh. Effectively zero. One is earning 18 lakh, one is earning 6 lakh, 24 lakh. They may make. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಎಕ್ಸಾಕ್ಟ್ ಇದನ್ನೇ ನಾನು ಹೇಳಿದ್ ಮಾಡೋದಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರಂತ ನಾನು ನಿರ್ಮಲಾ ಸೀತಾರಾಮನ್ಗೆ ಹೇಳಿಲ್ಲ. ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಕನ್ನಡ ಬರೋಲ್ಲ, ಅದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ಹೇಳಕ್ ಹೋಗಿಲ್ಲ. ಈ ಒಂದು ಚೀಸ್ ರಾಜ್ಯಸಭಾ ಫ್ರಮ್ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ. ನಾವು ಐ ಡೋಂಟ್ ನೋ, ರಾಜ್ಯಸಭಾ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ ಇರಬೇಕು. ಸೊ they want to make it taxpayer friendly they want to make, and it's happening. Something have already happened. Next, obviously you have to go with the updation and upgradation. Everything has to go with the latest international taxation ಏನೆಲ್ಲ ಇದೆ, modern international level ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನೆಲ್ಲ ನಡೀತಾ ಇದೆ. Maybe CFNL people will understand. So what are the various international taxation treaties ಇದೆ, ಅದ್ರ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಅಲೈನ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಓಕೆ, that's what. Then court cases, not just in taxation matter, in other matters there is a statement. If there is a fight, ಗೆದ್ದವ ಸೋತವ ಸತ್ತ ಅಂತ. ಗೆದ್ದವ ಸೋತವ ಸತ್ತ. So when I had some issue with one of my car, okay, brand new car, stopped first day only, it stopped, and when I was about to file, then someone said, by the time you win the case, it will be almost 10-20 years. ಅಷ್ಟೊತ್ತಿಗೆ ಕಾರ್ ರಸ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಕಾರ್ ರಸ್ಟ್ ಆಗೋ ಚಾನ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ, ಏನಕ್ಕೆ ಯೂಸ್ ಅಂತ. So people are not interested in litigation and taxation. How many pending litigation? You may be knowing in Bangalore only there will be 100 experts who are chartered accountants, advocates. Litigation matra. They don't do anything else. So now they want to reduce the litigation. So faster resolution for all the things which are pending. Then minimal description. So they do not want to go for too much of explanation, too much of things. ಎಷ್ಟು ಮಿನಿಮಲ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಷ್ಟು. ನಾವು ಐ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಎನ್ಕೌಂಟರ್ಡ್ ಆಕ್ಟ್ ಇನ್ ಫ್ರಂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಮೀ. ಅರ್ಲಿಯರ್ ಆಕ್ಟ್ ವಾಸ್ ಆಲ್ವೇಸ್ ದಿಸ್ ಮಚ್ ಥಿಕ್ನೆಸ್, ಇಫ್ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಸಿ ಮೈ ಹ್ಯಾಂಡ್. ಇದು ಇಷ್ಟಿದೆ, ಆಲ್ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ ಅರೌಂಡ್ 60 to 75% ಸೈಜ್ ಇದೆ. ಸೊ ದೇ ವಾಂಟ್ ಟು ಮೇಕ್ ಇಟ್ as minimal as possible. May not be, they would not have been inspired by Salman Khan and Mallika Sharaf, but definitely they are inspired by some of the Hindi heroines. Yes, so the basic comparison, again thanks to ChatGPT, okay, thanks to Chinmay also, okay, who has helped me. So 1961 Act and 2025. Before that, probably 1961 people would have done 1922 Act with 1961 Act. Before that also we had Act, okay, right. Structure, I'll just go to the only second column. It is simple, concise, and well structured. That's what they claim, and I reasonably believe in it. Language also. See, the problem in litigation of the law is actually because of the language. So what you understand, above 50,000, if I receive a gift from Nandini, the whole of such sum is taxable. So now there are two interpretations. When I receive 60,000, whole of such sum, the very basic plain language, 60,000 is whole of such sum. But second argument is, any of 50,000 varage tax ilvalla. Whole of such sum is 10,000 into 100%. That's also possible. So these are the what you call it, discrepancies. We should have issues. Now they try to reduce to the extent possible. Clear, easy to understand language. Then compliance, fully digital and online now. Then appeal system, assessment system. They want to make it face already agide. They just adike full chapa kottidare. Face line technology driven assessments. Litigation also same. Then amendments. Others amendments they want to reduce, because every now and then amendment ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇರುವಾಗ, so this you will not be very sure about the country's growth. Now Vodafone case, so which has happened in the UPA government, crores together, lakhs together, crores together, tax was outstanding. So they didn't want to, even the NDA government when they came, they said nothing retrospective amendment, we don't want to do it. But when there is a huge tax, bulk tax is there to the exchequer, they didn't want to stop it. That's why from that perspective, okay, so they want to ensure that reasonably lesser amendment, not frequent amendments. Then, so approach has to be taxpayer friendly. So the true statement, Ali, if you go to Queen's Road, Ali, department, pay your taxes with a smile anta. Pay your taxes with a smile. Harshita Bhatt tried, but now they want cash anta. ಇವಳೆಲ್ಲ ಹೋಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ನಿಂಗೆ ಕಿಸೆ ಕೇಳಿದ್ದಲ್ಲ, ಖುಷಿ ಖುಷಿಯಾಗಿ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಕೊಡು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದವ್ರು. ಇವಳು ನಂದಿನ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ಲು, ಪೇ ಯುವರ್ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಸ್ಮೈಲ್. ಅದು ಕೆಲವರಲ್ಲಿ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮಿನೇಷನ್ ಹಾಲಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, ಇನ್ವಿಜಿಲೇಟರ್ಗೆ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಸ್ಮೈಲ್ ಕೊಡೋದು, ಸೊ ದಟ್ ದೇ ವಿಲ್ ಕಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ಯುವರ್ ಪೇಪರ್ ಅಟ್ ದ ಎಂಡ್ ಅಂತ. ಅದೇ ಹುಡುಗರು ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ನಿಮ್ಮನ್ನು ಕಿತ್ಕೊಂಡ್ಬಿಡ್ತಾರೆ ಹುಡುಗಿರು, ಇನ್ವಿಜಿಲೇಟರ್ ಇದ್ರೆ. ಸೊ ಎಲ್ಲ ಕಡೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ವರ್ಕ್ ಆಗಲ್ಲ, ಎಲ್ಲದಕ್ಕೂ ಒಂದೇ ರೂಲ್ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಯೂಸ್ ದ ಡಿಫರೆಂಟ್ ಮ್ಯಾಟ್ರಿಕ್ಸ್, ರೈಟ್? Then efficiency, they want it to be faster, which is actually happening. 10 years back, 15 years back, people used to come to the chartered account office, refund claim ಮಾಡಿಸಿ ಅಂತ. ಈಗ ಫೈಲ್ ಮಾಡಿ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಡೇ ರಿಫಂಡ್ ಮಾಡೋಕೆ ಬಂದ ಕೇಸು ಇದೆ. ದಟ್ಸ್ ಹೌ ದ ಥಿಂಗ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ಹ್ಯಾಪನಿಂಗ್. ಐ ಆಮ್ ವೆರಿ ಹ್ಯಾಪಿ. ಸೊ ಅದನ್ನ ಖುಷಿಯಾಗಿ, ಅದನ್ನ ನೋಡ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಖುಷಿಯಾಗಿ, ಅಂಡ್ ಎಜುಕೇಟ್ ದ ಪೀಪಲ್, ಎಜುಕೇಟ್ ದ ಕ್ಲೈಂಟ್. ಎಸ್, ಅವರ್ ಗವರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಡೂಯಿಂಗ್ ದ ಗ್ರೇಟ್. ದ taxation laws are good. Advantages of Income Tax Act 2025. So easier understanding, clear language, reduce sections ಕಮ್ಮಿ ಆಗಿದೆ, simplify the tax compliance. So then end-to-end digital process, everything end-to-end. Then time bound, ಎಲ್ಲದಕ್ಕೂ ಇಷ್ಟು ಟೈಮ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಆಗ್ಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ ಆಗ್ಬೇಕು, ದಟ್ಸ್ ಇಟ್. ದೆನ್ ನಾಟ್ ಟೂ ಮೆನಿ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ಸ್, ನಿಂತಿದ್ದಕ್ಕೊಂದು ಫಾರ್ಮ್, ಕುತ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದಕ್ಕೊಂದು ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಫ್ಯೂರ್ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ಸ್. ಡೆಫಿನಿಷನ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ರೀಸನಬ್ಲಿ ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್ ಅಂಡ್ as far as possible. This is the most beautiful one, I liked it. Voluntary, you are encouraging voluntary compliance. So the people should only come forward and say, okay, yes, I want to be a tax friendly, I want to be a tax adhered SSE, I want to be a tax adhered citizen of the country. That is how the procedures have been made. But again, as I said, today you start the law, tomorrow you will understand, implement agodil. It will take some time. Like plastic mukta, we are told every now and then. Starting agutta anta. Today the way things are happening, wow, the feedback I am getting. You today also someone called up and said, so ನೀವು ಹೇಳಿದ್ರಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಇಡೀ ಟೌನ್ ಅನ್ನ, ಸೊ ಮೊನ್ನೆ ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದಾಯ್ತು ನಗರ ಪಂಚಾಯತ್ ವಿಲೇಜ್ ಅದು, that particular person who won, he said ಇಡೀ ಟೌನ್ ಅನ್ನ we are going to make it plastic mukta, complete 100% single use plastic mukta ಅಂತ. It will take some time, it will happen. ನಂದು 2022 ಇಂದ 2032 ವರೆಗೆ ಟಾರ್ಗೆಟ್ ಇದ್ದಿದ್ದು, to reduce 90% of single use plastic in the country. It will happen. I trust and it will happen. Same way, this law procedure also, what they done, it will take some time. Maybe earlier it would have taken decades to understand. Now we are also fast. Lawmakers are also faster. Maybe in 2027-28, maybe maximum 230, probably you'll be having one of the best taxation. Hi, namaste.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
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 sir.
I wish and pray that by 2030, we will be having the best taxation law in the world. Okay. So the people should say Indian taxation, wow. Okay. That's what the objective. Hats off to the lawmakers, hats off the team, which is working day and night, almost 365 days to make our taxation law simpler and beautiful. Okay. Very happy and very proud of certain things which have happened, including 2025 Act. Very happy and very proud, because there's an opportunity for me also to unlearn, relearn, and adapt to the changing situation. Thank you. Over to Sudhindra MS sir. Those who don't know, he is Sudhindra MS sir. Okay. He's a CAP site from CPD to final, rank holder student throughout. So 10th PUC ella kade rank, and one of the terrific faculties of CAPS. Over to you, SMS sir. And special mention in the context is, he is always there from the time he has become a CA in every research and development aspect of education related matter. So before being a part of the CAPS, so as a student also he was adding, but after becoming CA, he is always a part of it. He gives always the wonderful inputs. That's the reason why I said, let us start a session with me and you only. Over to you, SMS sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Coming to this Act, Income Tax Act 2025, yes, as sir was talking about, what they have done mainly is restructuring the provisions as such, but no major shift in the law as such, right? So it's basically like old wine in the new bottle kind of a scenario that has happened. But it's exciting as well because this is the law that we will be practicing at least for the next 40-50 years, right? So that's the beauty, especially we students who will be the chartered accountants in the near future. It's our future that we have. What they have done, why? See, if there is no change in the provisions of the law, if not, there is not much change in the provisions, why this act was required? Right? Why this was required is because of the complexities that were involved in the earlier law, especially in certain areas where lots of amendments were happening. If you take example of trust taxation, there was amendment in every finance act, and it was impossible, right? It was very difficult to keep a track of. There were provisions, subsections to that explanation. To that explanation, there was a proviso, right? So there were multiple complexities. They have what is they have streamlined it, they have simplified it by removing all the explanations and provisos and making them as a part of a subsection itself, maybe additional subsection for that matter, so that the order, the flow in which the provisions are made is intact, right? It's in line, it's in sync with the provisions. That is the one part of it. Similarly, as the ministry, the CBDT had explained in the press release, right? Extensive amendments. There were around 4,000 amendments that have happened in the last 6 decades. That's what they are claiming, right? So because of that, there were significantly lengthy and complex laws and numerous exemptions and deductions which were given. If you look at section 10, section 10 talks about exemptions, but section 10 had multiple subsections, right? 1010C, 1023C, 1023F, FB. So multiple subsections which were again confusing. So simplifying that aspect, reduced tax base and increased litigation. Yes, this is the main, as sir was mainly pointing out. And traditional legal language. Normally, any law in the country will be drafted in that legal language, but here they have tried it to simplify it. They have tried to simplify by reducing the usage of such legal terms, legal languages, making it more user friendly, so that everyone will be able to understand it. And there were some various outdated provisions. These are the things that they have removed. Okay, they have eliminated because of that the number of sections have reduced, right? Else it is not possible for them to reduce the law, right? There were multiple provisions which were not at all applicable at this particular point in time. Those provisions have been completely eliminated, right? What was the objective? What was the intent of the legislature? Structural simplification for improved clarity, as they had themselves claimed no major tax policy changes to ensure continuity and certainty, and no modification in the tax rates. They have not touched in those things at all, right? Preserving predictability, eliminating intricate language to enhance readability, and removing redundant and repetitive provisions. There were certain provisions which were there multiple places, bring it together in one place. There were provisions related to a particular aspect scattered. For example, trust taxation, we had section 11, 12 and 13, 12 AA, 12 AB, as well as in section 115 also we had exit route, right? So all those together we have a separate chapter now for trust taxation. So likewise, they have brought in everything together, a better structure, better presentation, and reorganizing the provisions logically to facilitate ease of reference. As sir was talking about, effective date 1st of April 2026. The major shift for us, at least from usage perspective, earlier we were used to tell assessment year previous year. Now it is tax year, because the effective date says it is effective from the tax year beginning on 1st of April 2026. So now no more assessment year and previous year going forward. So what is this tax year? Same as previous year. Same. Previous year was defined in section 3. Tax year is also defined in section 3. Okay, so the definition of tax year, section 3, and more or less the same definition it talks about. If we just look into the definition, means the 12-month period of the financial year commencing on 1st April. For however, if that business or profession is set up during that year, the date of such setup till the end of the financial year would be the tax year. It's more or less the same definition. So the previous year that we were referring will be the tax year. The assessment year that we are referring in the new law, they are calling it the financial year succeeding the relevant tax year. Okay, that is the term that they are using. Again, the reference of this will be there more or less only in cases of filing of returns, assessments, etc. In the normal provisions of the law, normal computation provisions, etc., this terminology is not there. More or less, they are using tax year itself. Okay, that is the major shift that we will have to get used to going further. And what are the streamlining that has happened? Total sections, there were 819, I believe, which is reduced to 536, which is almost 270, 280 sections being eliminated. And chapters reduced from 47 to 23. There are 16 schedules included, like in GST law, wherein no doubt section 7 of CGST Act talks about supply. They have given reference to schedule 1, schedule 2 and schedule 3 there. Likewise, all the main provisions, they have included it in the law with giving reference to schedule. For example, exemption, earlier all the exemptions were part of section 10. Now they are telling section 11 talks about exemption, but refer schedule. Likewise, ATC, all the ATC deductions were listed in ATC section itself. Now that particular provision says refer schedule, right? So that is what they are trying to do. They are referring everything to the schedules more or less. And best part is introduction of tables. They have brought in tables in the act itself, summarizing the provisions of the law and formulas in various places also. So earlier we were seeing tables, especially in Income Tax Act, we were seeing tables, formulas, charts only in CAPS material. Now we will be able to see those in the Bare Act as well, right? That's one beauty. Just I'll give you an example. I'll just show you the Bare Act.
They copied it from caps ansute.
Yes, sir. Yes. So section 393, earlier for TDS provisions, we had to refer section 193 to whatever, 195, 196. All these provisions consolidated one single section, section 393. Whether it is contract, whether it is professional charges, rent, commission, whatever it is, everything is covered in this single section. And look at how the provision is made. Everything is in chart. Commission, refer this. Rent, refer this. Right? Likewise, payment on transfer of immovable property, right? Like that's how they have simplified it. And no writing them in paragraphs, they have just said for who has to deduct the tax, what is the rate, what is the threshold limit, right? So that's how they have presented. This is how they have made, even certain places formulas are also being mentioned. Okay, formulas are also prescribed. Likewise, tax year is done. I was talking about that consolidation, right? 193 to 196 TDS provisions. Likewise, earlier definitions, certain specific definitions were there under certain chapters. All those, or certain explanation to a particular section, right? All those definitions are now brought in under section 2 itself. And this particular act, as a chartered accountant, we have to be proud of. The first section, definition section under section 2 is accountant.
Accountant.
2.1, accountant, which was not there earlier in section 2, which was defined in section 288. Right. So accountant definition as such is not changed, but the way, the place in which it is being defined, everything they are bringing in the section 2 itself, all the definitions. Having said that, even though we say there is no changes as such, major changes, yes, there is no major changes, but there are certain small changes that I could find out based on my limited research that I have done till now. Just to list out, trust taxation. Earlier in the Income Tax Act, they were using the terms trust institutions, etc. Now they have using the term NPO, non-profit organizations. And there is a separate chapter 17B from section 332 to 355 without any 332A, 32AB, etc. 332 to 355 without any explanation, provisos to explanations, nothing like that. All plain provisions which covers exhaustively registration related, income of an NPO, application, accumulation, right, commercial activity if they are carrying out, compliance, violation, everything at one place. Right? That is one major shift that I saw. And section 19, earlier section 16, salary deductions. Section 19 talks about deductions with regard to salary. One shift is earlier gratuity, commutation pension, retention compensation, VRS, leave encashment, everything was in section 10 exemptions. They have brought them into deductions under section 19. So that's one shift. And entertainment allowance with regard to government employees is not seen in the section 19 provisions. I think that is no more applicable. And similarly, section 31, 30 and section 31 with regard to building and furniture, machinery, etc., merged to section 28. They have also specifically mentioned if it is partly used for business, non-business, proportionately you can claim exemption. One specific subsection is mentioned there. And next one, again, this is understood, but still in the cost of asset definition, they have said if input tax credit is claimed, GST cannot be included in the cost. That is specifically mentioned. And with regard to specified profession, earlier company secretary and information technology were part of rules as may be notified. In the rules it was there. Now these two have been included in the act itself. And earlier in the act, there were authorized representative and film artist. Those two are not present here. But again, in specified profession definition, it still ends with as may be prescribed. So in the rules, they might still prescribe it. We are not sure because rules is not yet notified. They have not yet released the rules. So may be given in the rules. Similarly, section 47, no transfer, is section 70 now, which again, they have streamlined it by removing various redundant provisions included there. And section 80C, as I was talking about, giving reference to schedule 15. And section 80 TTA, 80 TTB merged together into section 153. Both the provisions together continued. Then section 263 talks about filing of returns. That is section 139. Under 139, earlier we had cases where compulsory filing of returns comes into picture. Foreign travel, credit card expenses, etc. All those are not mentioned directly under section 263, but there is one subsection which says board has the power to notify certain cases. So which might, again, in the rules, they might still bring in, which we have to wait and watch. Earlier, one more important relief that they have given, earlier lower deduction certificate under TDS was not allowed for all payments. For all sections under TDS, it was not covered. There were certain sections which are outside the scope of it, but now they are telling any payment. So to that extent, I think now TDS, TCS, any kind of payments we would be able to apply for lower deduction certificate. Earlier, section 69D was only talking about hundi. Now, including negotiable instruments, they have added there into the aspect of section 69D. Again, obviously the new section there. Then, with regard to TDS, exemption from deduction of tax from interest payable to cooperative bank. In section 194A, it was banking company and cooperative bank, cooperative society engaged in banking business. That was the wording that they had used in their old law. The words cooperative society engaged in banking business is removed. So to that extent, might be the exemption is withdrawn with regard to TDS. 194 DA and 194 EE, old provisions, the threshold limit was rupees 1 lakh or more, rupees 2,500 or more, where TDS is applicable. But now it's a uniform provision which says exceeding. The column D says exceeding the threshold. So exceeding 1 lakh and exceeding 2,500. That threshold, a slight change in the threshold limits for those two particular TDS provisions. And 194N had for defaulter in filing the returns, the threshold limit was reduced to 20 lakh there, and for higher TDS rates are also 5%, etc. All those things are not present in the new law. The simple provision 1 CR, 3 CR limit with 2% deduction, that is what they have mentioned in the act. Okay, these are some of the differences that we were able to identify at this point in time. Apart from that, coming to the definitions as such, more or less is the same. Only the section references, wherever there is a change in the sections because of the new act, the section references have been changed. In books of account, even cloud-based storage and portable storage devices are also added with regard to books of account definition. That is one, and more or less others are same. I think there's not much change in the definitions. Again, income definition, all the changes with regard to the section references and removal of redundant provisions in the income definition as well. I think that's it. Yes, in relative definition, linear ascendant, they have clarified maternal as well as paternal side, both are considered. The one additional line clarification is there. Yeah, definition of tax year we saw previous year section 3 itself. Previous year section 3, now it's not there in the new act. Instead, we have tax year there. Charge section 4 itself, no change for assessment year, tax year is used. Scope of total income section 5, no change for assessment year, tax year is used. Residence in India, again, no change in the provisions, but we had only till section 6, subsection 6, subsection 6. Now we have till subsection 14. All the explanations, etc., they have made it separate subsections. Right, explanation 1A is 1 to 6.3, 6.4, 6.5, 6.6, 6.1A, 6.7 now. So accordingly, the subsections have increased, and for wherever assessment year word is there, tax year has been used. Section 7 and Section 8 of the old law is merged to become Section 7. Income deemed to receive as well as dividend income, both are clubbed. Section 9B has become Section 8. Section 9 and Section 9A are clubbed to become Section 9. Again, in Section 9, we had 911 up till 918 with explanations, lots of explanations. All those have been made separate subsections. Okay, around I think 13 or 14 subsections, even in Section 9 is what they have done, and certain redundant provisions have been omitted. Section 5A, that Portuguese civil code, is made Section 10, and exemption Section 10 has become Section 11. Again, this is still work in progress. It's still happening. But still, again, if you can just go to Income Tax Act, Bare Act, which is published by ICAI, they have done a beautiful table wherein they have given section-wise reference of new act as well as old act. So this is the section in the new act, the corresponding section of the old act they have given. So which helps us to navigate and refer, because now again, unlearning and relearning the new sections will take time for us. So at that particular point, it helps us for these references. So this is an overview of what are the changes. Again, limited coverage that we have done. Still lots of things to be discussed. Yes, sir. I'm done, sir.
Thank you so much, sir, for a wonderful insight into so many things in a very short period, because I decided only yesterday that we'll be doing. No doubt for months together we are talking that we should do it. But when will we do it? I thought it's getting delayed. Now I didn't want Nirmala Sitaram calling up and asking why your new caps metal has not been released so that we can incorporate all the tables in the next act. Because obviously we should ask for a copyright, bro. Because all the tedious table, etc., we are doing it for decades. They copied, and even the chart. I'm very happy and very honored. Whether we are right or not, I don't know, but C Institute is copying the charts, whatever doing, study material. So 10 years back, there were no charts in the study material. Now charts are there, the study material. In the act. So what else we want? Okay, so they have the tables. Very honored, very happy. When you all said and done, excellent preparation, sir. Excellent presentation. Very happy as usual, because whatever is required, I think overall picture. So just to summarize, not much changes as per law is concerned. So ಅಯ್ಯೋ ನಾನು ಈಗ ಓದಿದೆ ಕೆಲವರೆಲ್ಲ ಈಗ ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಗ್ರೂಪ್, ನಾನು ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಸೆಷನ್ ಆದಮೇಲೆ ಈಗ ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಗ್ರೂಪ್ ಫೈನಲ್ ಶುರು ಮಾಡುತ್ತಿದ್ದೆ. ಸೊ ಸರ್, ಸೊ 2025 ಆಕ್ಟ್ ಬರುತ್ತಲ್ಲ, ಚೇಂಜ್ ಆಗುತ್ತಲ್ಲ, ಮಣ್ಣಗಟ್ಟಿ 5 heads ಆಫ್ ಇನ್ಕಮ್ ಹಂಗೆ ಇದೆ. ರಾವಣ ಹತ್ರ 10 ಇತ್ತು, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಹತ್ರ 5 ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ವಿಲ್ ನಾಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಮಚ್ ಚೇಂಜಸ್, ಬಟ್ ವೆರಿ ಹ್ಯಾಪಿ ದಟ್ ಟೂ ಮೆನಿ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಲನೇಷನ್, ಸಬ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಎಟ್ಸೆಟ್ರಾ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಬಿನ್ ರಿಮೂವ್ಡ್. ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಬೇಜಾರಾಗ್ತೈತೆ, ಅಷ್ಟೆಲ್ಲ ಓದಿದ್ದು ಈಗ ಮರಿಬೇಕಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ. ವಾಟ್ ಎವರ್ ವಿ ರಿಮೆಂಬರ್ಡ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಲನೇಷನ್ 2, clause 13, ಅದೆಲ್ಲ it's okay, no problem. Still we are always ahead of the race compared to anybody else in the world. We will maintain the pace. If anybody want to catch us, so please catch us. That's not an issue. So anybody want to add on anything quickly before I have one more session? So anybody want to add on, you can add or say something, you can add. Anybody has an experience ನಿಮ್ಮ ಆಫೀಸಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರ್ಬೋದು, ಅಥವಾ ನಮ್ಮ ಥರನೇ ನೀವು ಇನ್ನೂ ಶುರು ಮಾಡಿಲ್ವೋ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ. ನಾವು ಶುರು ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀವಿ, ಬಟ್ ನಾವು ವಿ ಶುಡ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ನಮ್ಮ ಲೆವೆಲ್ಗೆ ನಾವು ಮಾಡಿಲ್ಲ. ನಮ್ಮ ಲೆವೆಲ್ಗೆ ಇಷ್ಟೊತ್ತಿಗೆ ಮುಗಿಸಿ ನೀರು ಕುಡಿಬೇಕಾಯ್ತು. ಬಟ್ various other commitment, but we'll pick up the pace. Nothing to worry. Okay, we'll cover it up. We will have some sessions on the we are not finalized. Maybe tomorrow, day after, because we'll finalize and maybe daytime or evening, whenever we have session. Whoever wants to join, you can join. So I don't think there is any loss even for the May 20. Till May 20, till Jan 27 people if they join also, because it's just a learning. Probably you may understand the old law better when you read the new law. Alva. Okay. Yes. Anything you want to add, remove, deduct? Nandini, Edama.
Yes, sir. Sir, ಇವಾಗ group 2 classes 26 May 26 September 26 attempts ಗೆ applicable ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ ಸರ್?
ಇದು 2025 ಆಕ್ಟ್ ಅಪ್ಲಿಕಬಲ್ ಆಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ ನಿಮಗೆ
1961 ಆಗೋದಲ್ಲ.
1961 ಆಕ್ಟ್ till January 27. So 1961 ಆಕ್ಟ್ applicable.
ಸೊ ಇವಾಗ group 2 classes ಶುರು ಆದಾಗ ಈ 3 attempts
at caps will be doing first 1961 act, then at the end I will take some couple of special sessions and I say what is the section difference and comparison. I don't think we need to do much changes because section wise reference kotra because content remains the same. Sections anna, so May 27 onwards we tell don't by heart the section, learn the law. Law is same. Law is not different. Okay. So then starting also potential income tax act studying again ಈ ಜನ್ಮದಲ್ಲಿ ಕಷ್ಟ ಆಗ್ಬೋದಂತ. Now it's possible. So ಈ ಜನ್ಮದಲ್ಲಿ ಉಳಿದ ಎಷ್ಟು ದಿನಗಳಿದೆಯೋ ಅದ್ರ ಮುಗಿಸೋಣ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು. Very proud. So yes, anybody? Thank you so much, sir, for the brilliant input. I think you've done a brilliant job. Okay, thank you, Shetty sir, for the overall picture, and thank you all for joining. Okay, so thank you again. God bless you all. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.